In this video, I'm reviewing your reptile enclosures, but with a twist. The winner gets over $1,000 worth of prizes. This comes from Phailozoo's Proper Care campaign for 2025. Phailozoo assembled a team of judges, of which I was one of them. So what I'm going to do is review all these enclosures with you. It's going to be a bit of a long one, but we're going to have fun with this. And then I'm going to announce all the winners. So here are the rules. This is kind of cool. They're kind of throwing money around. First place got $700 and a brand new enclosure, of which the worth of that enclosure pushes it over that $1,000 threshold. Second place gets $500 and some premium freeze-dried rodents. I actually have some of those rodents, going to make a video on it. Third place gets $300 in cash and a high-quality reptile enclosure fan. It's basically little like fans, like the lucky reptile ones, so you can ventilate your enclosures. But not only that, the first 30 participants and the first 30 people to submit their enclosures got a $50 gift card. And if I am correct, there was only like 65 people that even applied. So the odds of actually winning over $1,000's worth of prizes were actually pretty high. It's 1 in 65. I would take those odds. You're not going to get any scratch card or lottery ticket with those odds. So before I start, I want to go over my kind of criteria as a judge. What I'm looking for is practicality. Does this functionally actually suit the day-to-day care of that species? If the enclosure is beautiful and it's not functional, it doesn't work for me, I don't care. If you have this beautiful chameleon enclosure, for example, I'm pulling this out of thin air, and it can't actually get to a basking spot, so you've got a basking spot over open space where a chameleon can't even get to, then I don't care if it's beautiful, wiped it off the plate, non-functional, not looking at it. So practicality first and then beauty second. If you have something that is beautiful and practical, obviously I'm really going to like it. With that established, let's go into it. This first account is from Arts and Arthropods. So it's got a drainage layer and a sub-barrier. It's basically bioactive, live plants and fake plants, cork round. Which species is this for? This is for... Am I stupid, or does it not say what it's for? Okay, so it's a male crested gecko. His behavior. Okay, cool. Let's have a look. I'm going to zoom in. Let's bring this in. Do you mention lighting? You do. He has an LED, but I'd love to get him UVB in the future. Okay, so just an LED. Let's look through this. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Like, I mean, practicality wise, he can climb like a crested gecko should. He has opportunities to get up in an area of illumination that might warm him up somewhat, being up there in that hide up there. He can get about. He's got a bit of space to jump about. It's not bad. I would probably say it's like a 5 out of 10. It's okay. It's not going to be world beating. But it does the job. You know, it's a pet enclosure for a pet animal, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. We're gonna get through these pretty quickly because there's a lot of submissions, and I don't want this to be like a 4-hour video. I'm so sorry if I've been really harsh. Goose has snakes. So this is Charlie's enclosure. I like it so far, but again, it looks beautiful, but let's not get drawn into the beauty of this tank. I'm seeing good things. I'm seeing an incandescent halogen over a rock. That means it's got a good basking spot. Which species? This is a bull python in a 4x2x2. He has an accessible thing to climb. He definitely has hides in the enclosure. There's complexity to navigate. That's fine. There's definitely going to be like a change in the humidity in there. There's going to be a gradient to some effect. There's going to be microclimates for sure. He can bask with heliothermy properly. That's cool. Burying his 2 warm hides. Okay, lovely. So he's got a burrow. That's cool. Oh, and a sky hide. Yep, that's cool. So he can go up there. Oh, they are explaining the heating. Okay, cool. And yep, it's got nice lighting. Yeah, I don't need to know that. I don't need to know. Don't need to know. Okay, cool. So this is a pretty good enclosure. Practicality-wise, I think the only thing that is missing is more branches. But I wonder if, because of the way they've placed their lighting, they didn't want to put a branch there to make him go to like a high UVI or get overexposed. But I think it should have a few more branches. It's got 2 burrows, the ability to bask, a sky hide, so it is exercising and actually climbing and getting into that sort of like arboreal position. So I would say it's kind of like a 7 out of 10. No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Practicality wise, you would have, I believe, you would have a ball python that would achieve positive welfare in that setup. So it's not a bad setup. I'm being really, really nitpicky. I'm going Simon Cowell mode, but yeah, that's fine. American green tree frog. This is Wagona reptiles. Okay, so we have a lot of complexity, a lot of branches going all over the place, which is fine for the frog. Looks like a halogen in UV. I don't need to see you feed them. I just need to see the setup. That's fine. To be fair, it's probably a pre-existing video they just reused for this submission, so I understand. It doesn't say. It looks big enough. I mean, looking at it, it looks big enough. I would say functionally for that frog, that is probably like a good like 8, 9 out of 10. That's a good enclosure, practicality wise, for those frogs in relation to the size of the space and the complexity and the heliothermy and the lighting they've given it. I think it's a good setup. That's nice. So we'll keep that one in mind. It's a 5 by 2.5 by 5 by 2.5 grow tent. That's interesting. So he has hiding opportunities. He has complexity in his choice of hides. He has like a little sky basket thing. There are climbing opportunities. I saw an incandescent light in there. There was UVB, I think. Right, I think I'll get the ballpark. So functionally, this is actually a decent enclosure. There are many climbing opportunities. There are areas to rest in arboreal positions. It doesn't look the prettiest. It's definitely got a style that's a bit more synthetic to perhaps a lot of people's tastes, but functionally, that is a decent enclosure. In terms of the motivated behaviors that animal can express, I think that is a good enclosure. This one is Hunter Exotics. This is a rescue crested gecko. Why does everyone call their crested gecko a rescue? Is the situation that bad in America that every crested gecko is a rescue? Like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I just want to see like a zoomed out shot. That's all I want to see. Because I can assess everything that I need to from being zoomed out. Why is everyone getting right in there? I just need to see a zoom out of the enclosure so I can assess the functionality of like what I think is appropriate. But you've not even zoomed out, so I can't see it. So I'm just going to move on. I mean, it looks complex from what you show me, but I want to see access from here to there, of the bird's eye view from zoomed out to the basking spots and things. I want to be able to see it in a holistic view, and I can't do that, so I'm going to move on. I feel really harsh. This is like bringing something out of me. I'm not sure this is good. Like, I feel like I'm being really, really judgmental. I feel bad. But I've been asked to do a task and judge this. When I normally do these videos, it's just giving advice. Like, hey, you could do this and this and this. But I'm actually being asked to cast judgment in this particular stance. So, sorry. Oh, Calotes. Okay. Okay. Zoomed out shot, zoomed out shot. Give me a zoomed out shot. There we go. Right. So this tank has a lot packed in there, and I like that. Calotes are so scatty and like they want so much visual barrier between you and them to feel comfortable. And I think this tank achieves that beautifully. I mean, I think this is like one of the largest size of the Exoterra. Yeah, I mean, it's got incandescence, it's got complexity, it's got hiding areas, it's got mounted areas to sit at the top. I like it. I think this is a very good enclosure. Can I see it like a size? The size of it in there compared to everything else? Right, there's a video. Where's the lizard? Hey, I want to see the baby. Oh yeah, he's tiny. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, this is a good one. I think this is like, I mean, for this animal, if it is as small as I think it is, I think this would be a 10 out of 10 enclosure. It functionally does what it needs to perfectly. This is a really good one. So this is a 6 by 2 by 2 for the ball python, heating and lighting. They have an Arcadia halogen, deep heat projector, and shade dweller and plants. 4 hides made from rocks and basking, blah, 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 blah. Right, lovely zoomed out shot. I can see what I need to. I'm going to flick through quickly. Nice arboreal shot. Nice. Right, okay. Let's not get sucked into the beauty of this enclosure because it is gorgeous. But let's assess this for practicality and functionality. So, I feel like I need to get like glasses. I don't even need glasses. I feel like I need to get glasses and zoom in. Right, so sky hide, so it can go up to this like arboreal hiding space. There is a lot of complexity of climbing. Nice thick branches too. It's not like spindly things. It's nice. There are multiple burrow networks, or at least just hiding areas that are underground in the setup. There's ample space. Because the thing is with tanks, you need to think about the complexity of like clutter, but they also want a bit of space as well. So the thing that I tend to do is give like clutter side, back, side, and leave some space along the front. Because typically my ball python likes to stretch out. I mean, this setup is better than my ball python setup currently. It's in need of a rejig, which I'm going to do a vlog on, but I would say I do not agree with using heat projectors in general, just because of the wavelengths they give off are not particularly pleasant, in my opinion. I made a whole video on that if you want to check that out. But this is, I would say, a 10 out of 10 enclosure. I like the fact that the branches have a clear and distinct path from the basking spot and one hide all the way across to the arboreal stuff up the other side. And it flows really nicely. So if you think about how that animal is going to use that enclosure, it can go to all the resources it needs to through like a highway of branches. I like that a lot. That's clever. Right, moving on. What I'm going to say is if I don't show the enclosure, I didn't really have much to say, or I didn't feel like they showed it appropriately and I wanted to zoom out to be able to see, so I've just moved on. So if I've not shown it, there's a reason for it. This is a Mangrove monitor. It's a 6x3 by 4 foot custom built enclosure. Okay. Lots of climbing, interesting. It's got an actual little tank acting as a pond. That's really cool. Right, now zoom out for me. Zoom out for me. I don't need to see you naked. I just need a zoomed out shot. I think that's for scale for the size, though. You can see the size of it. Okay, but just give me a zoomed out shot. Why does no one give me a zoomed out shot? I mean, that's the most zoomed out I'm going to get, I reckon. Alright, where's the basking spot? I need to see the basking spot. I can see that from the glow, it's an incandescent, I think. Well, I assume it's got UV. I don't really know, but this is difficult for me to assess, really. If you have like an LED, a UVB, and a halogen, I would say this is probably like a good 9, if not 10 out of 10. The whole functioning tank as a pond, I think that's very clever. I think you used complexity very well. The plant cover is very good. So you go from, like it would be in the wild, where you would get like dense coverage at the bottom, and then it gets more sparse as the branches go up. Well, until you get to the canopy where it's dense cover again. But you get my point. So, oh yeah, it's a good enclosure. I just would like to see more lighting. Maybe he's got it in the text. Let's have a look. No, we're talking about what he likes to eat. That's nice, but where's the lighting? Okay, well, I'm going to move on. Okay, so this one's a crested gecko. This one... Is the bottom of it water? Is that water? It is, isn't it? It's water at the bottom. And again, we look at this in its beauty, right? It's beautiful. And then you actually look at it, and if I'm being judgmental, which I am here to do, I would say there's very little complexity in the center or branches in the center to make the space 3D for an arboreal animal. There's a lot of plants there that if a gecko was going to jump on it, it's just going to flop. So I don't think a lot of that space in that tank is actually usable to that gecko. Yes, you got that back wall and the side walls, but all that open air in the middle, I would have like branches and all sorts going on to make it actually accessible, to maximize that space for your crested gecko. So functionally, I don't think this is very good. I don't think it does much for... People are going to hate me. People are going to hate me. But it is beautiful though. It's beautiful. I think if you just slap some branches in there, literally get some branches, put them in the middle horizontal, and then like silicone them or attach them to the sides, get some vertical ones going up, it would change this tank into like a really nice tank. So this one is for white tree frogs. They're in big faunariums. Well, they're not called faunariums, they're called Reptibreeze. Oh my god, I use these. Okay, nice. Right, so functionality brain on. Got a pond at the bottom, nice amount of soil at the bottom, plant cover, aiding humidity. There's climbing structures. I feel like there's a lot of empty space in the center of the tank. There could be stuff going like or leaning against the walls and branches and things like that. I know you can't really attach branches in the same way with a wooden enclosure or a solid wall, but you can just lean things. I mean, I've done full trees in these setups just by leaning them in different areas and then leaning them against each other so that it locks it into place and you interlock it a bit. So I feel there's a lack of space here in terms of like that they've been able to actually access. But it is a massive enclosure for the size of animal. So I don't want to say that you're doing bad. I think that you're probably doing far better than the majority of people that keep white tree frogs. I think you just could have a bit more. I mean, the one on the left is better. I would say the one on the left is a lot better with functionality. And then you could get some stuff here, and then I'd probably say that probably like 10 out of 10 for a white tree frog. If you're in an area where the humidity is already high, you don't need to like try and contain humidity. Yeah, I'd say it's great. That's great stuff. So we're looking at complexity. There's things for it to engage with, climb on. Perhaps a lot of unused space, I might say, in the middle and whatnot. Yeah, it's all right. I would definitely is going to like have normal brain development and complexity and neurogenesis for that brain of that ball python. Certainly isn't going to do harm. It's certainly going to aid that ball python in good, healthy brain development. So it's a good setup in that regard. I would say, yes, you're doing good by your pet. I mean, this is nice. You got complexity, you got areas to get up and bask, you got UVB, you got things to get in amongst, complexity again. There are climbing opportunities for someone that may or may not climb that much, but still. I mean, that's a nice little enclosure. It's got a nice little burrow. Definitely going to have a human microclimate. That's cool. Right, so we're looking at a leopard gecko. Right, there's some climbing structures there. It looks like a background. Oh, on a background, yep, okay. Oh, definitely hides the, like burrow systems. There's a complexity in there. There's a background that you can get up and make it a bit more three-dimensional. They've got a misting system, that's nice. I just realised I'm looking at it the whole time like, yeah, good enclosure. Yeah, I like that. So we're going over to TikTok now. Some of these are TikTok submissions. Let's have a look. Right, so this enclosure is a 4x2x4. It does suit the bearded dragon so much better than most bearded dragon setups, even better than my own. So she mentioned in this that bearded dragons are technically terrestrial. They're not. They are scansorial, if I pronounce that properly, which means kind of like they're climbing up trees and stuff, but don't exclusively live in trees. So there's a paper back in Deer where they looked at the skulls of different agamids in Australia, and they categorised them based on arboreality, right? And they would place, basically, in a nutshell, bearded dragons in the semi-arboreal category alongside full dragons and like water dragons and stuff like that. So bearded dragons climb a lot more than people think. So this is actually much more appropriate for the species than most setups. Now, it isn't as beautifully pleasing as a lot of other enclosures, but that doesn't matter to me. As I've established, we're looking at practicality and what motivated behaviours these animals can express, right? So, lovely basking spots up top, can get up there. Also, branches to climb up and be up here. The thing with bearded dragons is this enclosure, if I move to another frame so we can look at it again, is it looks pretty sparse, but that is actually what bearded dragons prefer. So when I'm advising on snakes and stuff, I'm like, throw in cork, throw in branches, throw in more, clutter, blah, 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 blah. With bearded dragons, they actually prefer sparse environments, because a bearded dragon, the mindset of a bearded dragon is they want to sit out there, and in the wild what it would be like is they would have a perch up and look around, so they want to see snakes coming, so they want to find a nice vantage point where they can see all around, then look for snakes and other predators coming, see a clear view to the sky still as well, and look for birds, because their entire gig is they want to see it coming, jump down and run away from it. They don't want something to get the jump on them, so they want to see everything around them in the open. And if you look at wild herping footage, you'll see a bearded dragons, yes, down on the floor, but you'll see the trees and the branches will be like log up, and the leaves won't start until like a foot or so off the ground. So when you're down at the floor level, you can see for miles across the floor. So bearded dragons actually get quite uncomfortable if they feel they're in a cramped and cluttered position, because they feel like they're jumpable, basically. It's like an alleyway. It's the alleyway effect. So bearded dragons want to sit on logs and stuff and look out across space. Plus, in an enclosure, we want to have to confine them. They need the space to run up and down too. So actually, bearded dragons like a lot of empty chasm of space, which doesn't look as appealing, but functionally to the dragon, it's better. Which is why my 7 foot, I've got a pile of logs piled up and usable substrate, and then hides and cork and a nice area to bask, and that's pretty much it, because I'm using that sparsity for her to look out onto her domain and out of the enclosure into the room too. But there's a lot of people that look at that and they go, there's nothing in there. It's what they want. It's what a bearded dragon wants. So this is designed with a bearded dragon in mind in the same way that I would. See, these are the things we need to think about, is like how it's catered to each individual species. Sometimes barely anything in there is better for this species, and loads of things in there is better for this species. It depends. And this is the richness of herpetoculture. I mean, this is a nice setup for a green tree python. There is complexity. There's a way up and down. There's branches to do the classic green tree python pose. There's a pond. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, depending on the size of the actual animal. I would be proud of that. And then you got decent lighting for it to bask as well. Let's find a footage. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that this snake is like dwarfing this setup at all. I think it fits in there nicely. Good standard of care. Good setup. I like that. So this one's nice. This is a leopard gecko. This has got a lot of complexity. These are plastic flowers, but yet the plastic flowers look really nice. We've got the exact same water bowl for our leopard gecko. That's funny. I mean, look at that. There's complexity. There's crevices everywhere. There is microclimates. Bish, bash, brush, climbing everywhere. It's just crazy cluttered. With an open space at the front. Like, everything that I imagine a leopard gecko setup should be, this has. I like this a lot. I think this is one of my personal picks. And I love the fact the account is Corkbark, but that's not going to improve your ranking, I'm afraid. But Corkbark is a funny account name. Right, now that we're at the end of that, actually there was a lot of repeat submissions. So actually, I think that most of you probably had a good chance of getting in there to get that gift card. So now that we've had our little look-see, I can now reveal to you the top 3 winners and the winners of the prizes and the cash. So in first, we have Reassess Reptiles. This was... Let's go for a reminder of who Reassess Reptiles was. This was, of course, the ball python tank. This was, honestly, I think my personal favourite out of the judge picks. In second, we had Mia's Mini Zoo, and this was the semi-arboreal bearded dragon one, the 4x2x4. This one. Very nice enclosure. And in third place, we had Hannah M. Benton, which was, a quick reminder, that leopard gecko tank in Phailozoo's 40-gallon tank. Congratulations to all 3 of you. I'm sure Phailozoo will be in touch to get your prizes. Congratulations to everyone who had the courage to submit. I'm sure that was a lot of fun. I want to apologise if anyone felt that was a little bit harsh, but I was doing a job, so there you go. If you like these types of things, I don't normally get so critical, but it was a competition. I do a lot of enclosure review stuff, and I give just help. Like, you could do this and this and this, so I'm not usually that harsh. But if you like these types of videos, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.